Well, good very early morning everyone from Indianapolis, where today I'm beginning a long journey across to the Hawaiian Islands. Our first flight takes us to San Francisco on United's Boeing 737-800, but aside from the flight, we'll cover some cool information about Indianapolis Airport, including a massive new development since I last flew from here several months ago. With that said, I hope you enjoy the video, and let's begin. Indianapolis sees a huge wave of flights departing in the early hours, meaning there's usually large queues at the TSA checkpoints before they open at 3:45. Still, pre-check was no issue, and today we're departing out of Concourse A. Just a few months back, we flew Delta from here to Honolulu via Detroit. Today, however, our journey terminates in Kona, and we're getting there via San Francisco. Now, most of my trips back to the islands have been from Indianapolis, with very few exceptions. I don't know what it is, but historically, my family and I have usually found cheaper tickets from here to Hawaii compared to the likes of Chicago. And that's a massive win overall because I do prefer this airport. While nonstop options are far more limited from Indianapolis, it's cleaner and much more convenient than O'Hare, for example. Now, many people tend to overlook this fact, but Indianapolis is home to the second largest FedEx hub in the entire world, second only to the super hub in Memphis. While Indianapolis mainly acts as a national hub for FedEx, it also sees long-haul routes to Liège, Paris, and of course Anchorage, from where aircraft continue onwards to the likes of Osaka, Seoul, and Taipei, among others. It's because of this hub that Indianapolis consistently ranks among the top 10 busiest American cargo airports. And given most cargo operations take place at night, the hub is in full swing between roughly 1 to 5 a.m. And it was actually so cool seeing the constant flow of mostly 757s, 767s, and A300s. Concourse A houses the only international gates in the entire airport. While these gates are mainly used by Delta and Frontier for domestic flights, internationally arriving flights also use them because their hallways lead into the customs area. Still, that's not necessarily relevant for the primary international airline that uses these gates. Back in May 2025, Aer Lingus inaugurated brand new nonstop service from Dublin with the A321XLR. Now, all U.S. departures from Dublin and Ireland overall are pre-cleared, so passengers don't pass through customs when they land back in the States. Still, Aer Lingus' new route was a big deal for Indianapolis, and largely thanks to the A321XLR's range and efficiency. That aircraft is also the reason for Aer Lingus launching new services to similarly sized markets like Cleveland and Nashville. Dublin was Indianapolis' first nonstop link to Europe since the pandemic, when Delta's short-lived service to Paris Charles de Gaulle was suspended and has never come back since. Indianapolis definitely deserves more nonstops to Europe, but it's hard to tell who could be next. Maybe Icelandair with the 737 MAX, British Airways with the 787-8, or even Air France replacing Delta's Paris route with their own on a 787-9. Our flight to San Francisco will be United Flight 500. Now, multiple airlines flying from Indianapolis have used the number 500 for their flights. Apart from one of United's 2 daily flights to San Francisco, one of Alaska Airlines' 2 daily flights from Seattle is also operated as Flight 500. And in fact, Delta's flight from Indianapolis to Paris was indeed Delta Flight 500. And if you know anything about Indianapolis, you can easily guess why 500 is a special number for the city, and that is of course because of the Indy 500 race held annually at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. Unfortunately, Gate A24 has no view of the aircraft, and this actually isn't our plane either, but it is a 737-800, which is what we're flying on, only our aircraft is November 37255, a 25-year-old example that previously flew with Continental. Now, boarding was a lot more annoying than usual. Today I'm seated in the back, today in row 35, and somehow despite boarding only in group 3, all of the overhead bins in the back of the aircraft were full. And I wasn't just looking for space for my roller bag, but also those of my 2 sisters. So I, along with some passengers, just kind of stood in the rear galley waiting for everyone else to get settled before I eventually found space near row 14. Now, this aircraft still has the old DirecTV cabin, which I've shown many times before, but if I was stuck between 2 strangers, I'd probably be saying something different. But I will say I can't wait for the next cabin retrofit to be applied to more planes because these DirecTV cabins are well past their time.
In a water landing, forward door slides detach from the aircraft and serve as extra flotation. Do not use the aft exits unless advised by a crew member. You will also find 4 life rafts located in marked compartments.
The flight across to SF this morning was uneventful and smooth. Right now, as we were passing my hometown about 15 minutes into the flight, the refreshment service was beginning. I passed on drinks but went for a stroopwafel as the snack, and no, I didn't hog all 3 for myself because the other 2 were for my sisters. Having barely slept the night before, I tried catching up on sleep during the flight, and that's pretty much all I did. Soon enough, the rugged West Coast landscape appeared outside, and not long after that, we began our descent into San Francisco. This would be my first time back in the Bay Area since 2009, and how times have changed in those 16 years. Our approach today was the classic SFO style, landing from the southeast over the San Francisco Bay onto runway 28 right.
Welcome to San Francisco. The local time is 7:17 a.m. Please stay comfortably seated until the seatbelt sign is off. You may continue to use and charge your phones and tablets. If you're sitting in an exit row, please don't plug your devices into the outlets. Don't forget to check your seat back pockets and area around your seat to make sure you have all of your belongings, and be careful when opening overhead bins. To help keep the aircraft comfortable for our next customers, please open your overhead.
So first of all, I apologize everyone. I was looking forward to having some nice window seat views this morning, but that seat went to my sister. Overall, the flight was fine and nothing to complain about, but even though the DirecTV cabins are a nice throwback to the old days, I am glad that United is gradually replacing them with newer cabins, which I have shown in previous videos, that feature newer screens and also much larger overhead bins. And welcome to San Francisco, where after a short 1-hour connection, we're headed to Kona on the 777, which will be the next episode. I will see you all soon for that video, but until then, take care and goodbye for now.